Hi there, everybody. This is Dennis. Um, the ABC Guru. Always be closing. And as salesy as that sounds, you are always closing. You're always trying to accomplish something by making a sale. That could be just as simple as asking your kids to clean their room, or asking someone on a date, or anything, because you're always negotiating. And you're negotiating back and forth with people who want things from you or want you to do things. And without breaking it down to, like a combative situation, it's simple. You know, this is why it's so sad that for decades, people don't like going to buy a car, because you might feel like you're being beat up. This is why these online deals like Carvana and different ones are so successful, because I can go online right now, get qualified by a bank, pick out a car, pick out a payment, have it dropped in my driveway without ever having to leave the house. Now that to me is fantastic. And when they first started way back in the 90s, there was Max something, CarMax. They had acres and acres of cars down in Atlanta. This is like 1994, and they put me in a golf cart, took me around to look at the different cars. And you picked one out like a ham at Wegmans, at the grocery store. That really didn't appeal to me, because I love haggling. I like to think I'm good at it. And but there's other people, they just want a car. And you look at the KBB, you get a decent price. You're not getting kicked over the fence, so you don't mind. But I guess the whole thing with today's video is the entrepreneurs that I'm target marketing. Okay, and I keep using sales terms because I've been in sales over 35 years. And when it comes down to it, you're selling. Okay, selling, negotiating, whatever you want to call it. The best way to accomplish something that you want is to find out what the other party wants and how you can work together to get it. Now, yes, I was trained with a type of selling where you just let them, you got them to sign. You could leave them bloody and battered and lying on the floor, but if you walked out of there with a contract, you won. Well, it wasn't real good for cancellations and referrals, let's put it that way. But it did work, and you could do it that way. I never did. I never wanted to, and I didn't. I had people, tell me certain things. I used other methods to close, where luckily, because I've been raised, I want to say the old-fashioned way, you try to act with integrity, you try to act with honesty, you try to look out for the other person, and you'll get what you want by helping them get what they want. I want to credit, I think, Zig Ziglar with that. This is a guy that sold pots and pans in the 40s, and his stuff is still out there today. Not mocking out Zig Ziglar, but if you want to see old school, listen to Zig Ziglar. But the idea, if you help enough people to get what they want, that means you're going to close enough sales so that your bottom line will be where you want it to be, where you need it to be. And that's pretty much, common sense. Because I use one example. I had my own hearing aid business. This was in the 90s, and my son wanted to work for me. Well, he would get in with some older folks and get them to sign, get them to close. But they'd call me up before he even got back to the office and cancel, because they felt like they'd been high pressured. And I kept trying to drill it into his head that you can't do that, especially with senior citizens. You can't do it with anybody, but because we were dealing with the senior population at the time, they have to feel good about that. Because here in New York, they had 30 days to cancel anyway after you delivered it. Now it's either 60 or 90, because they didn't want people going in there and high pressuring senior citizens. And I think that was one of my best sales jobs, if you will. I started out with a national brand, Beltone, and after about 3 years, I was making really good money. But I tried to show them the potential for me as a salesperson and store manager, because I had, by then, in less than 3 years, I'd managed, opened up and trained other people, opened up 4 different locations. Finally, I was in the 4th location, and I wanted to expand, and the owner wouldn't spend the money. So I went out on my own, and I really enjoyed it. It was a leap of faith. I knew, I could do it, and so anyway, dealing at the time, I was in my 40s and dealing with senior citizens. Now I R1, but you just had to relate to them and be honest. And if you weren't honest and sincere, there's a group of folks that could smell it a mile away, because they had a lifetime of experience. And if you felt, if they felt like you were honest and sincere and wanted to help them, they also could sense that immediately and would listen to you. And most of the time they'd work with you. And by, to do that, I think you have to find, well, first of all, you have to have a really strong belief in your product or service. So when you come across, you have, you have an advantage over other people out there who just want to push something, push a product, push a service. And you all seen the ads, the pop-ups. With the advent of the internet, you're just inundated with this stuff, more so than the old days. But what I want to point across is that, you don't have to feel like you're a used car salesman. A lot of that is your own thought process, okay? And that's what I like to do, is I like to help people overcome that. With 480,000 people every month opening their own business, or maybe it's just a side hustle and they want to get out of the corporate rat race, or a job they dislike, or it's not making them enough money to support themselves and their family. I want to help you do that. And with my experience, I think I can help. I can help you do that. Just give me a call or send me an email, and we'll talk.